our next fight between Kai Kara France and Brandon Royval. Take it away, Zach.
This is a really, really fun flyweight fight. And I'll be honest, I'm not the hugest fan of the flyweight division. There's just not a lot there for me. But I think that this is one. Brandon Royval, he was on the LFA circuit for so long and did really well there. Finally cracked into the UFC and beat somebody in Tim Elliott in his UFC debut that I think really highly of, and I really like Tim Elliott. And so, and he's a huge 125er at 5'9". And I really like all that. But all that being said, Kai Kara France has one loss in almost 4 years. And it was to Brandon Moreno, who I think is eventually going to be the next challenger for the 125 belt. I have a hard time picking against Kai Kara France. His experience at his age is pretty incredible. I'm sure my guy that way, Burner, is going to bring up where he trains. And I see Kai Kara France getting the job done in a really high-paced 3-round decision in that fight.
So to kind of revisit one of Massio's earlier comments about not being great at picking women's fights, full disclosure, I'm not very good at picking men's flyweight and even sometimes bantamweight and featherweight fights. I box on the side, and I'm like 6'4", 250, and the smaller guys don't make sense to me. The fighting doesn't make as much sense. Like when I'm envisioning the fight, I can't. It shows in my stats. I don't pick the small guys as well. But James, what gym does Kara France train at again?
I think you know, Burner.
City Kickboxing. I'm gonna take it.
Go on, you need deep down.
I'm gonna go ahead and take Kara France as well. I've actually got him going via decision. I think it's gonna. I really like Royval. He's an excellent wrestler. He's got great takedowns. He's got great takedown defense. His transitions are incredibly impressive. It looks like somebody playing the UFC video game that really knows what they're sliding the sticks over. I mean, he transitions from move to move on the bottom, on the top. He's really impressive on the ground. I think Kai Kara France is an experienced enough fighter that he's not going to get caught by anything crazy like an armbar from the bottom or something like that. I don't think he's going to be susceptible at this point in his. He's expecting something like that. I don't think he's going to get caught by surprise and something like that. But I do really think that he's going to get the work done on the feet with that great kickboxing. I think Kara France wins it pretty handily via decision. I think it will be a lopsided decision for Kara France.
For sure. Kai Kara France versus Brandon Royval. I like both these dudes. Royval is the superior grappler, the wrestler. This is a styles make fights type matchup. You got the striker, Kai Kara France versus Brandon Royval, the grappler. Like Burner was saying, he's got amazing transitions, especially on the ground. Like he'll transition from submission to submission as soon as he doesn't get it. He's got things set up. So I really just think it comes down to, can Royval get Kai on the ground? Because on the feet, I definitely see Kara France having a definite advantage. But with that said, I just think, he's 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Kai, his only loss was to Brandon Moreno, another wrestler. So, that's Royval's path to victory, in my opinion. But can he get him to the ground? That's the real question. And I don't know if he can, and I don't think he can. So I'm leaning Kai Kara France here via decision, same as you guys. But I like Brandon Royval. I think he's a good fighter in his own right. So going forward in the future,
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, this is a tough one for me. I think it's going to be a great fight. Kai Kara France, I mean, he's a stud. Brandon Royval, out of his 11, what is he? 11 and 4. Out of his 11 victories, 7 of those have been by submission. Mm-hmm. Granted, they're coming. A lot of these are coming in the LFA, but I mean, still, the guy's got the ground game. If he ends up getting him to the ground, I mean, he's long. It'll be a lot easier for him to slap on a submission with him with that height. I mean, he's 5 inches taller than than Kai Kara France. With that being said, I think the experience Kai Kara France is going to bring into this is going to just be a little bit too much for him. I wouldn't be surprised though if we saw a submission from Royval though either. So I know I'm not really giving anybody a definitive answer on this one, but I really could see it going either way.
So the money would be on the dog then, you think?
You know what? I think laying a little bit on there. Yeah, I could see that being a good bet. I mean, what is he? It's almost a 2-1 underdog.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was a strong underdog.
Mm-hmm. Everybody knows
that's good money. I don't think he's going to win, but that's good money on my part.
The value is on him. The value is on Brandon.
I think the value is on Brandon, but that's
I'm definitely on that hype train for Royval. One of my favorite flyweight matchups I can think of this year. He made his UFC debut 4 months ago. He tapped out Tim Elliott, one of the veterans, one of the gatekeepers of that upper end of the flyweight division. So if Royval beats Kara France, it will prove the win over Elliott wasn't just a fluke. And I genuinely think this could start him off on a run for the title. Kara France is, as mentioned earlier, Kai's disadvantages with wrestlers and guys with good grappling like Brandon Moreno. And I've got a lot of faith in this guy. So I'll go for a Royval submission in the second.
Yeah, sorry about that one, chaps. I generally just got disconnected out of nowhere. But yeah, it's good to see that Sun's still rolling. But are we still on the Kai Kara Francis Brandon Royval fight?
Yeah.
Prediction? Yep, we just got to you.
Yep.
Just in time. I'm all for. I'm on the Kai Kara France hype train. I mean, I love the guy again, Berner. You know yourself what Jimmy trains out of, so I'm all for it. I think this guy is legit. He's coming off of some impressive wins. He's won 5 out of his last 6. Recently over Nam. So he averages a lot of strikes per minute. He can, pop with both hands, but he mixes in his legs well and most accurately. A lot of his wins, he can, go to the ground and get a couple of submission wins, but against a guy like, I'm guessing you guys are talking about, Royval, who has the edge on the ground and can do it on the mat. So for Kai Kara, it's probably best to keep the fight standing and implementing those wide range, versatile striking ability. And again, if he can keep the fight standing, implementing those kicks and his great cardio, then I can see him getting it done via the decision. So I'm going to go for a Kai Kara via decision.